The WNBA's free agency period has shaken up the league in a big way, with several top players finding new homes for the 2025 season. Some teams made big statements with their acquisitions, while others faced tough losses. Here's a deep dive into the biggest winners and losers of this whirlwind offseason. Point one of the biggest headlines was Lisa Leslie's arrival as the new GM of the Washington Mystics, alongside head coach Sydney Johnson. The duo has ambitions to bring the team back to championship form, but with a quiet offseason and no major roster shakeups, the path remains uncertain. The Connecticut Sun faced a complete overhaul, losing their entire starting lineup from last season. With Marina Mabrey also requesting a trade, the Sun looked drastically different from the squad that pushed the Minnesota Lynx to 5 games in the 2024 semifinals. Speaking of struggles, the WNBA's newest franchise, the Golden State Valkyries, had a tough introduction to free agency. Missing out on Kelsey Plum and other high-profile targets, they had to settle for 6th Player of the Year Tiffany Hayes while filling out their roster with role players. Meanwhile, the Las Vegas Aces made a bold move by acquiring Jewel Lloyd, but they also parted ways with Kelsey Plum and several key bench players. This could impact their depth, even as Lloyd joins an already elite backcourt featuring Jackie Young and Chelsea Gray. The Seattle Storm made a big trade, losing Lloyd but gaining the number 2 draft pick from the Sparks. They also retained Gabby Williams and Nneka Ogwumike, while adding experienced role players like Alicia Clark and Erica Wheeler. While their depth remains a concern, securing a high draft pick gives them a strong future outlook. On the other hand, the Minnesota Lynx focused on stability, keeping their championship contending core intact. With the entire starting lineup returning, along with key reserves, they are poised for another deep playoff run. Their biggest addition was Olympic silver medalist Maureen Badian, providing frontcourt reinforcement. The New York Liberty attempted to land Satu Sabally but came up short. They also lost veteran point guard Courtney Vandersloot. While their championship core remains, questions linger about Brianna Stewart and Maureen Johanna's contracts. The Dallas Wings may have lost Sabally and Natasha Howard, but they made strategic trades to acquire Annalisa Smith, Ty Harris, and elite defender Dejanai Carrington. Holding the number 1 overall draft pick, they have a chance to bring in a young star, with Paige Bueckers as the projected selection. Among the biggest winners, the Los Angeles Sparks made a splash by acquiring Kelsey Plum. Though they sacrificed the number 2 draft pick, they now have a dynamic core featuring Plum, Cameron Brink, Rickea Jackson, and Derica Hamby. However, the most shocking move of free agency came from the Atlanta Dream, who signed Brittany Griner. Adding Breonna Jones and Shotari Walker-Kimbrough further strengthens their roster, though integrating multiple bigs into their offensive system will be a challenge. The Phoenix Mercury also made noise by securing Sabally in a 4-team trade, adding Alyssa Thomas and Kalani Brown in the process. While depth remains a concern, they now have a revamped frontcourt ready to compete. Finally, the Indiana Fever built around their young core by adding veterans like DeWanna Borna, Howard, and Sydney Colson, players with a combined 7 WNBA championships. With Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark leading the way, the Fever have emerged as potential title contenders. The WNBA's 2025 season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting yet, and with so many game-changing moves, fans can expect an unpredictable battle for the championship.